This is the new Mindliner WebApp. We have completely redesigned the screens and workflows. With this release 2.5, the web app is no longer just a mobile and web support interface for the desktop app, but it is now a full standalone implementation of all key Mindliner functions. We are now looking at the dashboard. On the top, we have the search bar and a button to add new objects. Then to the left, we have the news section that contains information about any objects that have changed to which I've previously subscribed. Then further down on the page, we have some key numbers about Mindliner, the number of online users, object count and link count. Plus we have some charts that show me the activity of other users in my data pool or my own activity, with the option to make a selection on the time period I'd like to map. Let's start by searching for some information. As a search term, I use product backlog. Either I can just accept the default search options or go to the advanced settings, which allow me to choose the data pool, the owners, to search, to filter, and also whether I would like to include private objects, archived objects, and how many search results I like by default. Let's go with the default settings and search for product backlog. Mindliner finds two results. Clicking on one of the search results makes this the selected object and also produces an ad hoc mind map with the selected object as the root node. In order to edit the information, I can select the pencil button, and then Mindliner allows me to change headline, add a description, or make some attribute changes. Let's have a look at the mind map. So the object that I selected from the search list is currently the root node of the mind map. The filled nodes have additional information linked to them, additional Mindliner objects linked to them. So let's go and click on product, for example. So Mindliner will show me now the objects that are linked to it in addition to the one which is the root node. I'd like to point out here that in Mindliner there are no hierarchies. So what you see here in the mind map as a parent node is not really any different than a child node. It's just the perspective, whether from which end we're actually looking at the mind map. What I mean by this is that you can choose now any node could become the new root node. So if I double click on any of those nodes, for example product, then this will become the selected object, and by clicking on the light bulb it also becomes the new root node for a new mind map, which then I can use by just navigating from it. For example, I can now start out with the product and then go to Mindliner product backlog and load the additional objects here. So in order to rearrange information, what you can do here is you can select one of those nodes and drag them to some other place. And you see that all other visible nodes become drop targets as soon as I start moving one of them. So let's, for example, move it to define challenges, and I will have actually moved the object from one place to another. I'd like to point out here that currently in this version, the only relinking option you have here is to move a node. You can unlink it from where it's currently linked to and relink it to the new drop target. This is a difference to the desktop app, where we also support the feature where you can shift, drag and drop and create an additional link. It's a feature that we will introduce also to the web app, but currently we only have it in the desktop app. Now let's look at how I can add information to Mindliner. The easiest way is simply to make a node the selected object and then add information to that node. So I've double clicked on define challenges, which now is the selected object, and by clicking the plus button here, I can now make an addition. Additional challenge. Let's just call it that. And I can specify whether it's a nullet or a task. So let's just keep it a nullet and save it. And you will see it will be added to this selected node. So that's one way, and that's a cool way to add information, because A, the information is now in Mindliner, B, it's already linked to the right place. Now, if we look again at the title bar, there is some additional settings that we can change in the web app. I'd like to show you the data pools. This page shows you all data pools that your account, that you are a member of. I'm here logged in under my own account, and I'm a member of a lot of data pools. So let's just choose Mindliner, for example, and then it will show me all other users in the Mindliner data pool. If you are the admin of the pool, then you can change the name of the data pool, and you can invite additional users. But either if they already have a Mindliner account, you can specify their Mindliner account name, username, or you can just specify an email address, and then an email will be sent to the person with the invitation. If you're working in a data pool with multiple confidentiality levels, think of them as clearance levels, then you would also need to specify the maximum confidentiality level of the user that you are inviting. So if the user then joins the data pool, she or he will be able to see information up to the selected level. If you only have a data pool with one level, then you do not need to bother with this. Then other options here, we have account settings. This is simply allows you to change your name and email address. You can change the password, and this is a display of all the features that are active for your account. And then finally, we have the news and subscription page. Subscriptions are watches that I created on either objects, events, or people. And the last line means that if anyone adds a work unit to Mindliner, I'd like to be notified. Of course, if I say anyone, it always means people in my data pools. It's only within the data pools. And also, of course, I cannot, for example, see any changes made by others to their private objects. And I can also not see any changes made to objects that are classified higher than my confidentiality level. Then below here, this is the editor that allows you to create new subscriptions. So for example, if I'm interested in object linking, I would say whenever anyone makes a link to any object, I'd like to be informed. Finally, let me show you again how to subscribe to objects. So the object subscription is the only subscription you cannot do on this page. For this, you would go to the product search page. You make the object the selected object that you'd like to subscribe to, and then you click on this subscription button. This concludes the presentation on the new Mindliner web app.